Hello, you lovely people. Did you like the intro music there? It was a bit of an 80s game show vibe, because Piano Man Dan, who wasn't here last month because he had to go into hospital, he is out of hospital. So that's a yay. Thank you. But he's not quite well enough. But over here, there is a get well card that I thought that if you wish to, you could sign, and we'll give it to him, and that will fill him with love or something, and he'll be better for next month. Anyway, how are you? Are you all well? You're looking, yes, you're looking very well. Are you clean now? Are you clean? Are you, maybe not so much over here, I don't know. Yeah, have you washed? Good, yes, I had a wash. Good, well that's good. You did that thing. Look, and we've got some merch. Look, I don't know if you can see that. I know, thank you. Oh, and there's actually, I wasn't expecting this, but look, there's a baseball. I don't know, what do you think? Is it me? I don't know. Is it? Anyway, we've got that, and we've got T-shirts, and we haven't got them yet, but we are going to have some marigold washing up gloves that you can win. Yes, it's a thing. It's going to be a thing. We don't have them tonight. We've only got anyway. I'll come to that. Right. Anyway, I am very excited, as I always am, and you can probably tell that. But I'm particularly excited tonight because it's the 7th anniversary of the Bavard Bar. Ooh, I know, it's remarkable. And I still have no clue what I'm doing, so there we go. In fact, thank you. Happy birthday to you. Marvelous. Wow, thank you. Lovely voices, thank you. Where was I? Yes, so, yes, in fact, actually, technically, the 7th anniversary was in March, but I forgot. And I sort of remembered in April, and then I kind of it was halfway through, and then, but anyway, I've remembered tonight, so it's good enough, isn't it? So 2 months out, it's fine. But people, they often say, Tim, how did you think of the Bavard Bar? I think what they really mean is why, actually. But they're just too polite. But and the thing, those of you that know me might know that I was a lawyer in another life. I spent about 30 years in court. And so I think the ridiculous judges that I used to come across every day, they inspired the nonsense elements, okay? That may be a link, I don't know. But yes, that was, so anyway, it's been going for 7 years, and we've had some amazing Bavards, and I'm going to come to that in a minute. I'm going to do a really quick whistle stop through a few of them. But my abiding memory from the first ever night that I did when I opened the Bavard Bar back in March 2017, it was a really hot night, and I was wearing a grey T-shirt. And my daughter, who was there, she was 16 at the time, she came up to me in the first interval and she said, "Dad, when you're speaking, don't lift your arms up." And do you know, that's very wise advice. And I would say, I would commend that to all of you just generally. And that's why ever since I have worn a black T-shirt or a white T-shirt, and now a sparkly jacket. So there we are. But yes, that first ever night, we had 3 fantastic Bavards. We had Cole Morton, who has since Bavarded with other Bavards, but that night he spoke about the boy who gave his heart away, which was a beautiful story about a transplant, a heart operation that was very, very moving. We then had Juliet Harris. Some of you may know Juliet Harris, the wonderful, DJ locally and super person. And so Juliet gave a marvelous talk about talking, so that was quite meta. And then we finished the night with Matt Homewood, who gave a fabulous Bavard about ancient Sussex sports. And the one that really stuck out for me was the ancient sport that was played in Sussex. We loved it, of jingling. Do we have any jinglers in? I don't know. Does anybody know about jingling? No, I'm not surprised. But Sussex was the county of that was known for its jingling, and maybe other things. But that we were good at jingling. But we stopped doing it about 100 years ago. It died out in the 1920s, I think. But what it is, and I think we should revive it, I think it would work fantastically well on Warrior Square, because what you do is you have a jingler, and they have loads of bells on them, sort of a big bell around their neck, and their hands tied behind their back. And then you have about 20 jinglees, okay, and they're all blindfolded. And you put them in a field, this is what they did, and the jinglees would have to find the jingler and catch them, and the jingler would have to run around, but obviously he's ringing the bells. You see it with the blindfolds, you see it on the jinglees. You get, it's a brilliant game, isn't it? And we should do it on Warrior Square. I think we should bring this game back, because it was, yes, Sussex and Hampshire were the two counties that were fantastic at this sport. This was our sport. This was our thing. Anyway, we had a marvelous Bavard, and we learned about the ancient Sussex sports, one of which was jingling. But since then, we have had, I think, over 450 Bavards. I looked on the website, the Bavard Bar website. You can see all the past Bavards, and there's over 450. There's over 600 talks, but 450 of them, I think, are full Bavards, full passions. So I thought, I'm not going to tell you about all 450. We would be here all night. But I just picked, say, a dozen that I'm just going to very quickly mention. They're not necessarily the best, but they just stuck in my mind as things that. Anyway, the first one that I'm going to mention is, who was here when Sachi Kimura Lawson told us about the ancient art of bum reading? Was anybody here for that? Oh yeah, Maria. Yes, I think it's otherwise known as rumpology. And I think the famous bum reader is Jackie Stallone. I think she was a famous bum reader. But it's a genuine thing. And Sachi came and gave a talk about bum reading. And this is not a weird thing. It's trousers on. It's not some sort of perverted thing. And she reads bottoms with your trousers on. Tight pants is what she's looking for. I think. Maybe she's looking for other stuff. But essentially, we learned that your left cheek is the past, and your right cheek is the future. And I don't know what the crack is, but it's but essentially, it was an interesting talk, and it's a genuine thing. She is a bottom reader, and I then went to have my bottom read after the show, because I was so taken with this as an idea. And so I went to see her at her house, and it was all very kosher, all very legit. And I was wearing tight trousers, and I had to stand for sort of an hour, and she was sitting over there, and then she read my bottom, and she told me things. I'm not going to disclose the things that she said, but I will. What I will do is she drew. She channels some spirit. And I don't know. And she drew two people that she said, anyway, would you like to see what she drew? Of course you would. Here we are. This is on I think, your left. This is me. I was an 18th century Russian aristocrat, apparently. That's what she channeled. And on the right is my husband. Was my husband. So anyway, that's the ancient art of rumpology. I'm sure she's available for readings if you wanted to. Now, since then, I'm going to rattle through just some of the marvelous Bavards that we've had. We had the World's Worst Orchestra, which was about the Portsmouth Symphonium. David Bramwell gave a brilliant talk on that. We had Naturism. I don't know, that was years ago. And we had, I think it was two men in the end. They wanted to do it naked, but they weren't allowed. So we had, they did it closed. Circuit bending, that was fascinating. Now, I don't have any political talks and any religious talks. That's a kind of notional rule at Bavard. But I think talks can touch on politics and they can touch on religion. So we had a talk on politics and board games where we learnt about Donald Trump, the game. And did you know he made a game in the 80s? And there we are. That's the thing. And then we learnt about the eating habits of politicians, which was marvelous. Crop circles, fascinating. Lucid dreaming, brilliant. My Summer with Seagal. This was just last year. You may have been here for that one. Now, this is the last one. Just another sort of 8 or so. I'll tell you. Tub thumping. We had Dunstan Bruce come and give. He was the lead singer of Chumbawamba, and he gave a talk about their hit song Tub Thumping. We had meteorite hunting, which was fascinating and bonkers. What else do we have? Let's see. We had the ivory-billed woodpecker. Was anybody here for that? Because that was a few years ago, and it was astonishing. It was, if you this bird, it's an ivory-billed woodpecker, and it is, if you find it, if you see it, if you go to America and you see this bird, take a picture of it and send it to the U.S. government, and they'll give you $70,000. That's true. And And you can look it up. How America Saved the English Language. This was Professor Lynn Murphy's first ever Bavard for me tonight, and I won't say anything more than that because it was a fantastic Bavard, and she's given fantastic Bavards since then. A lot of them are based on linguistics, how you became me, and we had Wordle, of course, we had small words. Anyway, I'll stop there. And Wojciech the Bear. Who remembers Wojciech the Bear? Wasn't that lovely? Yeah. And given, of course, by the son of someone who was in the same regiment as Wojciech the Bear. Incredibly moving and wonderful story. Pete Fidge gave that Bavard a couple of years ago. We had the Kelvedon Hatch. Oh, there's a cheer there. Have you been there? Have you been? Did you go and see it? It was good, wasn't it? It was great. It was great. The Kelvedon Hatch Secret Nuclear Bunker. And there's signs, aren't there? You can see if you drive to Essex, you'll see a sign for it. Marvellous. Biscuits. We had biscuits, and Sam Savage gave us biscuits. And then we had this one. We had the James Bond theme. This is a few years ago. Tim Pilcher gave a brilliant Bavard about Monty Norman and the history of the James Bond theme. And then what he did is he gave the audience kazoos in different colours, red, green, and blue and stuff. And then the audience played the James Bond theme on kazoo. Would you like to hear their effort? Of course you would. Here we go. Look, it's only 30 seconds. This should work.
Okay. So remember at first, just the blues and greens, okay? So here we go.
Oh, wasn't that? That is secretly one of my highlights, actually, to get to have the James Bond theme on kazoo.